Yeah. So, hi everyone. I am Sunny Savla, FIA FRM Sunny Savla, one of the youngest qualified actuaries, and I'll be the tutor for CB1 for the next April attempt for you guys. I have been teaching CB1 and other theory subjects, right? CB1, CB2, CP1, CP2, CP3, and SP5 since almost last 4 years at the academy now, and yeah, have taught more than I would say 200 plus students specifically in CB1. So normally the batch sizes go up to, last time it was somewhere around 50 plus, and that's how the common batch sizes go up to. So CB1 has always been, I would say, one of my favorite subjects, considering a lot of finance, considering a lot of accounts, and yeah, the pass rates at the academy have been amazing. We have observed close to 90% pass rates, which means 9 out of 10 people clear who attempt the exam. So pass rates have been good, and it has been going amazingly well till now. So you guys have joined for April 2026. Just a quick tally so that we are clear. Anyone who is there for IAI 2026 may attempt, or by any chance, I don't know, I in November is too late. I don't think anyone will be there for I in November. But yeah, anyone who is there for I May 2026. Just a quick raise of hands so that I can know. All for IFOA? Okay, I'm assuming all for IFOA. So yeah, that's great. IFOA, this is one of the bigger attempts. Hope you all know this, like very common logic. For September attempt, you get what? May, June, July, August, 4 months of preparation. For your April attempt, you get October, November, December, and Jan, Feb, March, 6 months of complete preparation. So this is a relatively bigger attempt. That's the reason, it's okay to take some things slower. Papers like CB1 are normally the people who have done with 1 2 papers, they try to combine their other CSCM papers with their CB1 papers. So accordingly, CB1 can be given standalone, it's okay, but yes, it is always recommended that if possible you can combine it with your other CSCM papers. It will be amazing. Anyone who still has not very well thought of what your plans are for April, you can definitely connect with me one on one and we can discuss the same. Out here, it's amazing to know that you guys are all ready to start CB1 a little bit earlier, so that by the time we get the results for the September attempt, which will come in December first week, I think. So we are already done with, I'll say, close to 40% of the portion. Right. So you get that confidence that, okay, if you are not clearing that particular exam, it's completely fine. You can combine that exam with CB1. And if you manage to clear your September attempt exam, then definitely CB1 and maybe some other paper is something that you can combine. So let's start with the orientation. CB1, firstly, the name of the level, business finance, and I'll say it has good amount of accounts, but does not mean that you'll only be doing balance sheets and trial balance. No, that's just 1 2 chapters. There'll be a lot of finance that you'll be learning. There'll be a lot of accounting theories that you'll be learning. Yes, there'll be numerical part as well, accounting ratios and some capital computation. So there'll be numbers involved, but definitely not so much as you see in your CSCM papers. Why? Because it's a theory paper, right? So there'll be good amount of theory as well as your good amount of numerical questions. Now, yes, it might seem difficult, it might seem bigger. There are somewhere around 22 chapters, and the book is 700, 800 pages bigger. But yes, nothing is particularly hard if you break it down into smaller jobs. Don't think 6 months, how will I study 700 pages, 800 pages book? No. Break it down week by week basis, similarly day by day basis, and everything will flow on. So, I already gave my quick introduction. So, I am currently, actually, if you see online, yeah, I am India's youngest qualified actually. But as and when, more and more people qualify, yeah, they might be younger. So currently that's as such. And I've been teaching CB1 since 4 years, which means almost close to 8 attempts. And the batch sizes have just kept on growing and growing. And yeah, that's the update. And academy's pass rates are more than 90%, thereby saying that the materials that we provide, I'll say, if I have to say the I would say the uniqueness of what CB1 brings about you is the study notes which are prepared by me. So see, in theory, no one likes to read everything. After reading so many pages, you'll be like all lost. So what we have done is, since all the 4 years, it's not like we have done this time, every chapter, everything has been summarized into PPT notes, which will be available to you. So now when I talk about these PPT notes, they'll be in other words, let's say a 25, 30 pager chapter is just summarized into a 10, 15 pager PPT. Now, PPTs do not have so much content to read. It will only have the relevant and necessary content which will be required for you in the exam. It will be like all formulas will be explicitly mentioned, all definitions will be mentioned, the big answers will be there. So everything that's relevant will be there in the order in those PPTs. So most people I have seen is just by reading that PPT, they are able to pass the exam. That's the uniqueness of this particular materials that we share. So more talking about materials, I think most of you would have been done with one paper, right? Before we move on to CB1, or have given one paper. So you might know what actuaries is all about and how the books look like. So there is something known as course notes. What is course notes? Course notes do come from ACTED, the Actuarial Education Society. They make all of these course notes. In other words, we call it as the textbook, right? The combined materials pack or the course notes or the textbook, those 700, 800 pages book. So that is something we'll be giving it to you. So definitely that's like not the Bible, but yeah, that's everything that you need to know for CB1. Okay, but it's too much. It has just so many extra things. It has just so much extra details, and it has random questions in between. It has random examples in between. Not everything is concised, right? So that's the reason we have something known as flashcards. Again, these are published by Acted itself, and flashcards just summarize the key topics in a particular chapter. So if a chapter has 10 different things, they will just talk about those 10 things in 1, 2 lines. That's it. The flashcards are for the purpose that you don't forget which chapter has what things, and even you don't forget the concepts. Example, if you're talking about depreciation, they'll talk about the two methods of depreciation. What is one method? What is another method? That's it. And then over. Next chapter. Right. They will not go into detail about the formula, about the advantages, disadvantages. They will not give you those details, which are important, which will be there in the last part, the study notes that you can see, which are prepared by us. So they are tailored in such a way that we have even looked at a lot of past papers, examiners report, what are the common questions that come in, and even some of those have been added in these particular notes. Okay, so this will be your complete, this I can say will be your Bible, and it will be a complete reference point for each and everything. You just have to keep reading them again and again. See, considering this as a theory subject, people will be like, oh, do I have to buy hard all of these things? I'll say no. Why? Because guys, we are not giving 10th or 12th standard exams where you just read and appear the exam. That's the worst idea ever. You might feel, it's just reading, I'll just sit at home and keep reading. But these people come to me in Jan and Feb when they appear a single test. They'll be like, oh, I have read everything. On reading, I feel I know everything. But when I write the paper, I am just blank and lost and all of these things. Some of you might relate to it, might happen to you in 11th or 12th or college or whichever year you are in, but that's not how you approach papers like this. Again, we are in a competitive course where it's not like out of 100 you will be scoring 95 or 98, right? The toppers, the pass is 60, 62, right? And even if you score 65, 70, it's amazing. So you will be losing for scoring 70 marks, you will be losing 30 marks. Imagine, right? So you need to be okay. You need to understand that there'll be a lot of things that you might not know know might go wrong, right? So if you by heart, even if you by heart the whole course notes, there'll be 30 marks that you'll be losing. So definitely that's not how your approach towards the paper should be. Your approach should be that if you are learning something, how do we apply it? If a random case study based question comes in, how to, use that knowledge and write that particular answer in a specified format, right? It's like saying that, yeah, I want to go and play a cricket match, lekin I have to play a cricket match in April. Lekin 6 months tak I am just watching television. I'm just seeing in detail how the footwork is, how the batsman is standing, what kind of shots they play. I know each and everything. Okay. And then in April, I'm just entering the stadium and playing my first ball. Do you think it will be appropriate? No, right? So there are people who just read, do 10 revisions. They are like, अरे मैंने 10 बार revise कर लिया. But have you practiced? No. They might not attempt the test. There are tests, yeah, we are providing you tests, we are providing you mock tests. So they don't focus on anything. Exam के एक week पहले वो लोग कुछ एक दो test लिखेंगे, एक दो mock test लिखेंगे, and then they will enter and suffer heavily. Why? Because they have just read. Reading में क्या है? It's just English. Read करोगे तुम्हें लगेगा कि हाँ ठीक है, आता है, but have you tested yourself? No. So our main focus will be out here in papers like CB1 will be to attempt the test, to actually solve those questions, and then definitely will submit it to me. हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We will absolutely each and everything we will check that. उसमें तुम्हें comments देंगे that okay boss, this is not correct. तुम्हारा answer का पूरा track ही change हो रहा है. You are writing something random points, right? So in the initial 1-2 test you will see my comments and तुम सोचोगे कि यार 5 mark का answer है, मुझे 1 mark क्यों मिल रहा है? Even though I have written right things, it might be that your answer is all over the place. तुम घुमा फिरा के same point repeat कर रहे हो. So many things that come in, right? यहाँ पे कुछ might not work. तुम्हारे कॉलेज में स्कूल में वर्क कर देगा कि यार यू राइट द सेम थिंग अगेन अगेन, पूरा पेज भर दिया, मार्क्स मिलेंगे, यहाँ पे नहीं वर्क करेगा. सो आवर फोकस इज टू गो इन रिवर्स डायरेक्शन, राइट? हमारा टारगेट क्या है? एग्जाम्पल टारगेट इज 70 मार्क्स इन CB1 एग्जाम. उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? लेट्स से एमसीक्यूज में इतना राइट चाहिए, इसमें इतना राइट चाहिए, एमसीक्यूज में इतने राइट के लिए 8 एमसीक्यूज राइट जाने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? सो योर अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स स्टडीज शुड बी टारगेट बेस्ड. क्योंकि मुझे यहाँ पे पहुंचना है, उसके लिए मुझे क्या करना है? लेट्स से मुझे एक अकाउंट के क्वेश्चन 20 मार्क्स का अकाउंट्स क्वेश्चन आता है, मुझे आई हैव टू गेट 18 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ इट, राइट? सो what do I need to do? Accordingly, practice those accounts questions, right? So it should be reverse way compared to what normally you do. Okay. So this is the course notes, the revision notes, the flashcards and study notes that we'll be providing. There'll be chapter-wise assignments and chapter-wise assignments ke solutions which you will have. So every chapter will have roughly 25-30 MCQs for you to practice, a lot of short answers for you to practice, and then definitely we'll have solution to compare your answers with. So chapter-wise, once your chapter is done, you can visit the assignment and solve it yourself. Wo I'll not be checking, but solve it yourself. Okay, so how would your approach go about? Let me just share a quick progress sheet, a tracker, which I would be sharing one of you and you to follow. So what's your approach to any chapter? सबसे पहले वो chapter के lectures देखो या lectures attend the lectures. There'll be live lectures happening, there'll be recorded lectures which you will have. Attend the lectures, watch those 2 3 4 hours जितने का भी lectures है, watch that out, complete it. Once that's done, then course notes तुम्हें पता है, you'll have the course notes. Just quickly read through it, right? 99% सब कुछ I'll be covering, but yes, it's course notes, IFOA का material, you can't just definitely skip it, right? So you just quickly go through it, glance through it. ऐसा नहीं कि 2-3 घंटे बैठ गए इसके पीछे, नहीं. Quickly 15 minutes 30 minutes cover it up. Okay, done. Then move on to practice questions. Practice questions are your chapter, every chapter के पीछे you most of you have appeared 1-1 exams, right? So every chapter has some sort of practice questions at the end of the chapter. Just do solve those out, right? Very simple. We did the lectures, we went through the course notes, we solved the practice questions, then we move on to the assignments. Like I said, chapter wise assignments, these will have good amount of past paper questions. सारे के सारे past paper questions जो तुम्हें revision notes में मिलते हैं, we have converted them to chapter wise assignments. Plus there'll be a lot of extra questions, right, which are not there in the course, which are not there in the, what do you say, past papers. A lot of extra questions are also present for your practice, case study based essay questions, right? So you solve the assignments, assignments, this will take time. This will take 3-4 hours per chapter. But ठीक है यार, BC chapter है, 4 hours per chapter, तुम आराम से करो, हो जाएगा. Right. Once that's done, after 1 week, see, that's a psychological thing I'll tell you. अगर तुम कुछ पढ़ते हो या नहीं कुछ याद करते हो, there is a chance that after 2 days, 3 days, you might forget. So your approach should be कि अगर आज लेक्चर देखा, आज कोर्स नोट्स देख लिए, then after 2-3 days, revise it and solve the assignments. Then after 1-2 weeks, last बार उसको एक बार देख लो. Then it will just stay in your mind. There is a thing, right? Short term memory, long term memory. जो left brain, right brain. मैंने तो साइंस बहुत पहले छोड़ दिया, but still. So to keep things longer in your mind, तुम when you read something new, तुम्हें लगेगा तुम्हें आ गया, but उसको 2-3 दिन बाद वापस देखो and solve more questions on it. When you do that, automatically it gets stick to your head, and then after 1 week या 10 days, एक बार वापस वो just glance through it 30 minutes, and trust me, you will not forget that till the exam. उसमें भी थोड़ा 1-2% ऊपर नीचे, 5-10% ऊपर नीचे, but 90% it will stick to you. So a lot of people who come to me and say यार I keep forgetting things, I have read all of these things, and 3 महीने बाद यार 10.5 चैप्टर मैंने कर दिए थे, where did it go, I am not able to recall stuff. It's because तुम एक बार पढ़ रहे हो, you are not solving assignments, you are just moving on to the next chapter. Please don't do that. So if you are doing chapter, lectures, practice questions, course notes, असाइनमेंट्स, इसको बड़ा टाइम लगे, असाइनमेंट्स खत्म करो, एंड देन आफ्टर सम डेज, 8-10 days, जस्ट रिवाइज इट. जैसे जैसे ये तुम्हारे हो गए 1 चैप्टर, 2 चैप्टर, 3 चैप्टर, 4 चैप्टर, दिस विल लुक कंप्लीटेड, एंड देन वो 4 चैप्टर का टेस्ट होगा. यू हैव टू अपीयर दैट टेस्ट, एंड वंस यू अपीयर दैट टेस्ट, आई विल बी चेकिंग इट, आई विल बी गिविंग यू कमेंट्स, एंड हम लोग देखेंगे, असेस करेंगे कि हाउ योर आंसर्स वर, कैसे क्वालिटी था, कैसे इंप्रूव करना है. सो लुक, मतलब देयर विल बी 6 टेस्ट. ये चैप्टर्स के लिए देयर बी बुकलेट वाइज 6 टेस्ट, मतलब कंबाइन 4-4 चैप्टर कंबाइन, 3-3 चैप्टर कंबाइन करते करते ऐसे 6 टेस्ट होंगी. सो ओवर द पीरियड यू विल रियलाइज कि तुम्हारा आंसर्स का क्वालिटी इंप्रूव हो रहा है. यू नो हाउ टू स्ट्रक्चर योर आंसर्स, राइट इट इन अ प्रॉपर ऑर्डर, एंड देन ऑटोमेटिकली योर पेपर राइटिंग स्किल्स विल इंप्रूव. टाइम पे खत्म नहीं होता रहेगा, पहले पहले वो धीरे धीरे होने लगेगा. यू विल स्टार्ट राइटिंग बिगर आंसर्स, बेटर पॉइंट्स, एवरीथिंग विल हैपन एज एंड व्हेन वी गो अहेड, right? So automatically, see, this is the tracker that you will be filling, and then whenever you do these things, यहाँ पे तुम्हें progress दिखेगा तुम्हारा, ताकि you understand that okay, there are so many things and I am out here at this particular stage. Okay, so yeah, and last में there will be test. Once the test is done, you will be done with those 4 set of chapters. फिर सीधा सब portion हो जाए, उसके बाद तुम revise करो या बीच में revise करो, that's okay. So any questions, anything till now? Quick thumbs up if everything is okay. Nisha, Graka, and okay, okay, good, good, good. Okay, so this will be there to you. As you can see out here, I'll show it to you on PPT screen as well. But yeah, so as you can see out here, all chapters, see, I have jumbled the order, and that's how I teach CB1. I don't start from chapter 1. Chapter 1 to 8 are relatively very, very easy chapters. They are finance chapters. If I can mark, these are finance specific chapters which you have to read. Okay, there is not much numbers, there is very less numbers, very less complexity, so these are relatively easier chapters, and exam में weightage भी इनका थोड़ा सा कम है compared to 8 चैप्टर है. तो ऐसा नहीं कि 50 मार्क का आता है, 8 चैप्टर में मिला के मान they might ask somewhere around 30 marks or 25 marks, which is lesser compared to these chapters. So we start with chapter 9 onwards, introduction to accounts. We look at the main accounts, इसमें everything, assets, liabilities, कौन से items किस किस में जाते हैं, कैसे कैसे fall करते हैं. We'll look at intangibles, we'll look at everything. So one question again, anyone who is from a science background or who has not done 11th 12th accounts, quick raise of hands. Okay, Aryan, no worries. Anyone else? All from commerce? So see, Aryan, your responsibility will be, I always start everything from scratch. But these other people who are there with you, they might know the basics. Let's say asset क्या होता है, liability क्या होता है, what is goodwill. They might know what is A, what is B, what is C. Those basics. ऐसा नहीं है कि they know so many. They are not like ऐसे 10 levels above you and you are not. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. They just are one step ahead. They just have that dictionary कि A means what, B means what, C means what, but they know that. In case if you are मतलब just lagging, just reach out, just ask me to repeat things multiple times and I'll be happy to. And I also just start from the very basics so that each and everything are covered. I'm not going like assuming कि हाँ ये तो तुम्हें आती होगा, next ऐसे नहीं होगा कहीं पे भी. So yeah. So in the main accounts, we will be looking at all the sheets of P&L में क्या होता है, balance sheet में क्या होता है. There'll be two more statements which people might have not seen. Cash flow statement ऐसे सब. So ये सब इसमें आएगा. Then depreciation, one chapter. There will be constructing accounts. Actually 20 mark का accounts बनाना, right? So this will be a chapter where we'll be constructing them, and then we'll be looking at, let's say, how insurance companies make accounts, how banks make accounts. Then we'll be looking at accounting ratios, right? अगर मैं बोलूँ, let's say simple example, let's say that one student has gotten 39 marks. Okay, 39 marks उसको मिले. So will you say उसका performance अच्छा था या बुरा? Maybe not. You'll be like 39 is very less, but then I'll say nahi, 39 out of 40 marks, then you'll be like, oh, it's good, right? Why? Because when you look at accounts, a lot of numbers are absolute terms कि कंपनी का 100 crore profit हुआ, 1000 crore profit हुआ. That might not give you an estimation. You have to look at in terms of ratios. 1000 crore ये साल हुआ, लास्ट ईयर कितना था? लास्ट ईयर था 5000 crore, दिस ईयर 1000 crore. It's a big fall, right? So you need comparison in accounts so as to justify a lot of things. Similarly, company has 100 crores of cash. Is it good? Is it bad? You have to compare it with their liabilities कि कितने हैं, उसकी सबसे cash कितना है. So a lot of things in accounts. In your commerce schools and colleges, you might just have seen कि हाँ accounts बना दिया खत्म. यहाँ पे we'll be looking at ratios, we'll be looking at how to interpret that. अगर दो कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट है, कौन सी बेटर है, कौन सी नहीं है. If कंपनी की करंट ईयर एंड प्रीवियस ईयर की बैलेंस शीट है, how has the company grown, in what areas it has grown, in what areas it has lagged, everything will be covered in this chapter. So very very great, amazing chapter, one of the best chapters, one of the most difficult chapters, and most I would say जिससे तुम ज्यादा से ज्यादा लर्निंग निकाल पाओ ऐसे चैप्टर्स हैं आगे. Then accounts में limitations क्या होते हैं, manipulations क्या होते हैं, we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at evaluation of working capital, पूरा नया है for a lot of people, but yes. We'll be looking at constructing management information, how do management make their budgets and decisions वगैरह वगैरह. फिर companies की भी growth and restructuring की, you might have seen a lot of mergers, acquisitions happening, a lot of companies changing their pattern of how they present themselves. So वो सब चीजें भी है. Then cost of capital. All companies raise capital. पैसे वो लोग raise करती है and then they utilize. So how do you decide the cost of capital? There is debt capital, equity capital, अलग-अलग sources of capital, right? So that is covered in this. Then dividend policies, and then there'll be project appraisals. If you want to make big projects like highways, buildings, and roads, ऐसे बड़े-बड़े projects होते हैं. So how do you decide which is better, which is not? Because projects are 10, 15 years longer, right? So that is covered in 21 and 22. So all of these chapters 9 to 22, super important, super heavy, and I would say very very good in weightage. मतलब exam में अच्छे question हैं इन पे, and if you cover these, right, so you will be done with close to 75% of the 75 to 80% of the portion. क्योंकि ये लोग chapters are heavy. भले ये 8 chapter बाकी होंगे, but yes, there'll be lesser weightage accordingly. So that's why we start from chapter 9 onwards, and accordingly you will forget this. I'll just hide this. ये तो बहुत not important है, but yeah, expected start date will be next week. We'll be starting our batches from next week, and every chapter has an approximate number of days. These are number of days to complete those chapters. So I have taken some big chapters, 10 days to complete, 7 days, and normally तुम देख रहे हो 3-4 दिन तो लग ही रहे हैं सब में. So your target is every week, these are the number of chapters, 22 chapter है, every week तुम एक एक chapter भी कर रहे हो. So considering from October, we do have 22 weeks, right? We do have 22 weeks. 22 weeks is roughly कितने महीने हुए, 5 महीने हुए. So we do have November, December, Jan, Feb, and some bit of March and some bit of October. So 1 week per chapter is also a great thing, but I understand most people will be giving 2 papers together. So in that case, please, or might have their 12th boards together. So I don't want you to lag, and मैं उस हिसाब से ही portion चालू करूंगा. for people who are like, who feel कि थोड़ा ऐसा लग रहा है कि यार slowly जा रहे हैं. Why? Because we'll have one lecture. Okay, we'll discuss the lectures, details and everything. We'll initially we'll have one lecture per weekend, and then धीरे धीरे as and when doubt solvings happen and everything, then there'll be two lectures later stage पे. But initially we'll be starting slow. Why? Because we have ample time. I don't want to rush on things, and I do expect कि you also don't rush on things, because मैंने बोला था वो psychological thing that if you complete some of these chapters way early, then exam तक तुम भूल जाओगे, फिर तुम्हें वापस वो रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो इसमें प्रैक्टिस इज देयर, but it's not so practice intensive as your CSCM papers. It's lesser practice. Once your accounting things are done, numbers things are done, ये chapters में तो practice ही नहीं है. It's all theory, right? So theory questions, it's not like तुम हर एक question लिख लिख के practice करोगे. So in that case, lot of things the practice will reduce later. So at the end, it's okay if you are going slow and steady at a steady pace initially. It's okay, because if you complete the portion too soon, then again you might have to revise multiple times so that things are in your mind later on. But this is the basic expectations from the group, from myself, and this is 20th of Feb. Definitely 1-2 weeks here and there, we are all humans, some things go up and down, but 20th Feb is the target. At max first week of March is when we will complete our portion. First week of March our portion will be done. We'll still have 1.5 months, I'll say 1 month and 3 weeks, which is what, 7 weeks in total, 40-45 days, more than 45 days. Okay, for what? Revision, doubt solving again, and more question solving, more and more mock test solving, right? So all of these things will be covered in the later stage after, let's say, first week of March, after first week of March till 22nd of April. So we have ample time. We'll be always on track. And this time, we have started our batch early. This time we are starting it a bit early because a lot of students had requested that, okay, we are giving 2 papers. We want to start early. Normally we start our CB1 batches in November 2nd week. But yeah, this time, considering everyone's demand, we are early. And this is the progress tracker that will be given to you. You have to keep on updating it as and when you are done with things. It's just dragging stuff on Excel, basic dragging drop stuff, and automatically you'll be able to see your progress out here. Now, some people might ask why these are in red. So in CB1, they keep on updating the portion time to time. Every portion gets updated. But in CB1, what they have done is they have not updated the portion. They have removed chapters. And by removing chapters, they have added, not removed the content. They have added the content in another chapter. So let's say if depreciation chapter is removed, it does not mean the topic is skipped. The topic is still there. It's just added in another chapter. So technically, if it's chapter 16, they have not removed it. They have added it in 13 and 14, like broken the chapter, added something in 13, something in 14. So technically, no new things have come up in the latest books and the portion. It's just that the old things are rearranged and jumbled just to make it new. But we will not skip anything. We will still cover these chapters. Why? Because topics are there. They have not skipped the concepts or the topics. They have just removed the chapter and added it to another chapter, which is just jumbling of topics and concepts. Okay, so that's why these chapters are marked as red. Technically, still think in your mind that we have 20 chapters to go. Okay. Any questions? This is the portion. This is the schedule. So I'll take up questions again after some time. But yeah. So what makes CB1 different? It's not your normal accounts paper in commerce. It will have new case study based questions in every paper. Okay, suppose there is XYZ country, it is facing this trouble, it is planning to introduce XYZ. So it will be like that. XYZ company is there, it is planning to export stuff, import stuff. So how will that be adjusted in accounts? So a lot of things, lot of questions will be case study format, which you might not have seen. Right. that, okay, this is a company. I am a company which makes vaccines. Okay, in the COVID times, I was a company which made vaccines and I want to raise money. So how will I raise money? So then you have to think and say, ki, okay, boss, equity might be difficult. Why? Because the prices, everything is crashed and no one will invest in your IPO. Then you will say that, okay, you can go to banks, but banks will charge higher interest rates. So what are all the different approaches? There is debentures, there is commercial papers, there is bonds, then there is, crowdfunding and all of those alternatives. So you have to think that, okay, if this is a company, they'll give you that company's all details, right? The just 5 6 lines of details. But you have to think that, okay, for this company, what all ways you can raise the money, and compare it with, let's say, some overseas company, some foreign company planning to set up their business in India. How would they raise capital? Now the whole approach will be different, right? They can maybe borrow some capital from their parent company, right? If, let's say, KFC or McDonald's is coming for the first time from US to India, they will bring their capital from US. Example, right? So the approach to answer for both these companies, the examples that I gave, will be different. They both will be raising finance in a different way, and that's how your answer will change. In course, you will learn about, let's say, 15 different approaches to raise capital: bank loans, line of credit, trade finance, leasing. You will learn about 20 approaches, right? But which one to use when and in which case based scenario is something where your application comes in, and that's where CB1 will test you. Yes, there is a good focus on accounting concepts and definitions. Your ability to understand accounting ratios and solve MCQs. Solving MCQs is, I would say, the most trickier part, because out here it's either right or wrong. Either you'll get 2 marks or zero. There is no in between, so it's difficult and a lot of subjectivity comes in. But yes, over the time we'll have to improve our MCQ accuracy. How to look at a question, how to use elimination approach, how to try to get the closest correct answer is something that we will over the period improve. Typing speed and paper completion matters a lot. It matters in all the papers. Out here as well it matters. Why? Because there's a lot of content, a lot of words that you need to type. Okay, so that just makes CB1 different. So you might think, okay, MCQs, what's the paper pattern? So paper pattern is 10 MCQ questions, 2 marks each. So total 20 marks of MCQ questions will be there right at the start of the paper. Question 1 to question 10, all MCQs, 2 marks each. Okay, so that some people might think, it's good, MCQs might help you, but I personally feel they are more trickier. And sometimes, you just, if you don't understand the question, you might get the answer, but it will be like a trick question. You ticked the answer early and the correct answer will be something else. So they are very tricky MCQs, but don't worry, there is no negative marking, which means fluke. You can randomly think and fluke the closest one, and that is the case that might happen. Okay, so you might target that out of 10, at least 5 to 6 MCQs you should know, understand, get the answer correct. Out of the remaining 4, there will be chances that 3 MCQs you have discarded 2 options. A and D discarded. What is the closest one from B and C? I'll fluke it. Right. So similarly, that might happen, and 1 or 2 questions might be such that you don't even know which option to select. All 4 are doubtful. In others, you might be like, I have discarded 2. So with a probability of 50-50, I will go ahead and choose a random one. Right. So that is something that happens. But yes, before that, you need to have 5 to 6 completely correct ones. So MCQs are tricky. We'll have all those sessions to understand how our approach is and everything, and how to decide on, how much marks should you get in this MCQ questions. Then there'll be theory questions ranging from 3 to 5 marks. Normally they are chapter related. We'll test your conceptual knowledge. We'll test your case study based knowledge, and there'll be 8 questions. To be very precise, there'll be 8 questions of 5 marks. So this becomes 40 marks of theory questions in between. They might have numerical questions as well. Okay, some smaller numerical questions too, but 8 questions of 5 marks. Then there'll be large 2 questions of 20 marks each. One higher chances it might be accounts, like you have to just make the accounts, prepare the P&L, prepare the balance sheet and paste it. It might take 40-45 minutes, but that's the bigger 20 marker question. And another 20 marker might be theory, completely theory, case study based question. So 20 marks of MCQ, 40 marks of 5 marker each. 8 questions, 5 marker each, 40 marks in between, right? Those mid-sized questions. And large 20 marker, 2 questions. One might be accounts and number related, and other might be a case study one. So that's the pattern. That's how 100 marks. It's one single paper. People who are confused, there is no theory practical, no R, no Excel, one single paper, one day exam will be there. So yeah, and no OBA objective based. It's just the same pattern that has been going on since 2012, 13, I think. So same pattern. This is the pattern that I talked about earlier. So no changes in the paper pattern. Okay. Our roadmap exam date is 22nd of April. So do mark it out. The good thing is it's in the later half. It's after 15th April, which means in April itself, you have 22 days, which is amazing. Portion completion target will be Feb end. Feb end can be first week of March. It's just 5-10 days here and there, but still we'll have enough days, and we'll try and cover chapter wise tests as well. As and when we complete the chapters, we're done with 4 chapters. I'll put the test on the group and I'll ask people to write the test. Okay, I'll have buffer period. So how do I go about it is I'll let you know on the group that okay, test is open. Let's say today is 20, today is what? Today is 18th. I say that from 18th to 23, you have 5 days. In those 5 days, sit at your home and write the test and submit it online according to the timings. We have the Google Forms and everything set so that we can see how much time you took to attempt the test. So everything is ready. But yeah, accordingly, yeah, that is, I'll give you 5 days to appear a 1 hour or 2 hour test. So it's not like test will be there at a specific same time which everyone has to appear. No, you can appear at your own convenience, early morning, late nights, whenever. But within those 5 day period, I want everyone to appear the test, and accordingly I'll start correcting the same. Right. So that's how your chapter wise test will be there. And post the completion of portion by Feb end, we will have 3 mock tests and doubt solving lectures will be conducted. Doubt solving will be there in between as well. But yeah, just the doubt solving on an overall paper level will also be conducted post your first week of March. That's the roadmap for April. Just something about the academy. So we have been in business in now more than 4.5 years. We started back in 2021 and have been teaching. The collective number of students have been more than 1,500. But now for each batch on batch basis, last batch September attempt, there were close to 400 students. Okay, so CB1 60 students, CS1 80 90 students, so on and so forth. We are now teaching 11 levels, all the CS, CM, CB, CB3, remove the CB3 part, CP1, CP2, CP3, and 2 of the SP papers as well. We have all 3 modes of teaching: offline, online, and pre-recorded, which means when you will be registering, you will have access to all the lectures, all 23 chapters, all the lectures, all study notes, all assignments on day one. So some people who are like, who feel that, okay, I have extra time, I want to cover extra chapters, please come to me. I'll guide you on which chapters you need to cover, right? You see, right? 9 to 10 to 11, 12. This is something that how I will progress in my batch. So if someone is coming to me and saying that I have extra time, I want to cover extra chapters, I'll always welcome that thought. I'll tell you which one to cover. I'll specifically tell you that I cover this, attempt this test. I'll guide you in the right direction. Okay. Um, later portion will be, like I mentioned, completed 1 month, or here in this case 1.5 months prior to the exam, giving you enough time for preparation and studies. There'll be extensive training sessions, live sessions, ensuring concept clarity, doubt solving. Very important around doubt solving. So last time, the people who were there in the group, they'll let you know that the group was super active. People used to keep posting doubts on the groups, and before even I could reply, I always try and reply by the end of the day. Before I could reply, other students, like they who feel that I know their answer, they used to reply to those questions. So technically it was like a great discussion happening between one student asking the question, 2 students replying, third student correcting something else. They're like, no, this is wrong, this is correct. And then I'll be coming in and giving that clarity of thought that, okay, boss, this is the answer. You are correct, you are correct, you are wrong. But yeah, similarly. So that's how amazing discussions used to happen on the group. So doubt solving is 24/7. you have been added to the group, just post your doubt. Like take a screenshot of whatever you are reading or whatever. Just take a screenshot of photo from your mobile and highlight that part and then just push it on the group, and your doubt will get very quickly resolved. No need to feel that inferiority complex with everything. You all have enrolled for this course. It's a professional degree. Everyone is professional, so don't think that people will judge yourself or no. It's you who have to take the best out of this whole course, right? See, I'll be reaching out to you one on one. I'll be talking to you every 1 month, 2 month. There'll be batch or live lectures, offline lectures. I'll be speaking to you on those lectures. But sometimes if you need some private help or something from me, you can directly call me or you can text on the group itself. So that is, we are always available for that. Then there'll be chapter wise tests, mock exams, one-on-one conceptual tests, all of those things we discussed out here. Good part is we are not covering only the theoretical part. In the lectures itself, you will see that I will be asking you questions where, in the lecture, I'll be asking you questions, gathering points and ideas from you, and accordingly, there'll be a lot of discussions around multiple case study based questions, multiple current affairs, and what's your opinion and how do you structure your answer around this if a question comes. For people who are in their third year of college or who have graduated, we have a placement assistance team as well. I myself am handling that team. So yeah, in the last year, we have placed more than 20-25 students of our students. We have placed, okay. Other people are also working and have been placed. They have just found the job themselves. Rest, we have also helped and, ensured and pushed their CVs across multiple companies. So we do provide that placement assistance too. And there are sometimes workshops are happening as well, that exam related workshops of how to ensure that in your online exam, tips and tricks to avoid those mistakes. Like, do ensure that the keyboards sometimes are UK based. If this happens, what to do? If that happens, what to do? This time, in September, there were 4 to 5 students who reached out to me after the exam. Why? Because I had specifically mentioned that if a problem comes to you in the exam, reach out to me. They raised the mitigating circumstances form. I helped them to fill the form, and out of 5 students, 3 students got their forms approved, which means, if example, the passing marks is, let's say, 58, and if they are, let's say, 2-3 marks away from the passing marks, which means if they are getting 55 or 56, they might get pushed to the pass result. Why? Because of that mitigating circumstances. What does that mean is, maybe during your exam, your laptop, your desktop failed, or if, let's say, some glitch happened, or you notified them. It's okay. You notified them. They gave you extra time. That's okay. But still, you have to do something for that. And if you raise it with IFOA, they might give you that 2-3 mark buffer. If you are pass, it's pass. If you're getting 65, it's 65. But if you're getting 45, it's 45. But if the pass marks is, let's say, 57, 58, and you are there in the 2-3 mark boundary, they might help you. So that's how I helped them to raise mitigating circumstances. That's what, right? For all of those things, definitely you can't put it on the group. You can't wait for me to come to you. I'll not see, there are so many students that we handle. So I might not go and ask personally one on one that, okay, what happened? All went good. You have to directly call me. I might miss the call, but I'll always call back within the 24 hours and we can easily have that one on one conversation. Okay. So yeah, that's all about it. Any questions? Anything that you want to discuss? We still have 10 more minutes. All good? All clear? Yeah, Kathy?
So what about the batch timings?
Can you please repeat? I don't think I am able to hear you. Or is anyone able to hear her? Now I can, I think.
What about the batch timings and dates?
Yes, that's something that I have to discuss. Okay. So let's take this question itself and see. Batch timings, I'm planning Saturday this time, and I am planning somewhat around Saturday evening. Saturday evening, let's say 5 to 7 or 5 to 7:30, sometimes 8. 5 to 8 is the proposed timing? You think that suits all? See, there are two slots. Okay, I'll be very frank. There are two slots between 2 to 7. Okay, between 2 to 7. We can go the first slot, which is 2 to 4:35. 2 to 4:35 in the afternoon. And the second slot is 5 to 7, 7:30. That's the second slot. What would you guys prefer? Guys, you have to decide. Reply. You want me to put a poll on the group, but the
Yeah.
poll might go biased, yeah. So what happens is some people are okay with both the timings. They'll just put okay in one of the response. But I don't see if you're okay with both the timings, please put okay in both the up and down both the options. And yeah, okay, this is just for Saturdays. Later, I think in Jan or Feb, when we'll have doubt solving lectures or some extra lectures, we might have on weekdays as well. One weekday, not all weekdays, definitely. On that one weekday, it will be after 8:30, 8 or 8:30, after your college or work or everything ends. So I think that timing will be suitable for everyone. So we can just close it out. Or, do you think that if we want weekday lectures only, I am okay to block one weekday, let's say a Monday. So after on Monday, every Monday, 8 to 10:30. You feel if weekday is appropriate for you, I'm okay with that too. What do you think? Yeah, Kathy. Others, no opinions.
Will the
Guys,
Saturday
please.
lecture be fine or
Mhm. No, I'm fine with Saturday. See, some people are like Saturday, they have things to attend to, things to go to. If that's the case, I'm okay to have it on a weekday too. So, yeah.
but what I was asking is will it be offline?
Okay. So offline, okay, question. If we do it offline, right, it's Smartunga Circle. So can we have a quick show of hands that how many people will be able to attend offline, which means they stay nearby or even in Mumbai, somewhere around Mumbai, and they'll be able to attend offline. Just a raise of hands so I can count. Okay. Okay. Jay, Nisha, Aryan. Oh, so everyone. So I can see nine people. All of you are based out of Mumbai and would be able to attend offline. Amazing. So we can have offline sessions as well. Again, offline sessions won't be there every weekend. They'll be there alternative weekends or depending on which chapter we are doing. Like we did it this in September. Some people might know for September. We had multiple offline sessions for the difficult chapters, and for some of the easier chapters, slightly easier chapters, we might have online session as well. So it will be a combination. But yeah, it's good to know that 9 to 10 people are there. But if we hold an offline lecture, I'll definitely want a minimum attendance of 10 people plus, so that it's a good interactive session. I'll be happy to organize an offline sessions then. Okay. So
So
Saturday
finally,
offline. Yeah, Saturday offline. Now we have just two slots. I think we'll have to. I'm not getting responses from everyone. I don't know why. Guys, ensure that you are more open to express your opinions if you have any. So if I think there are no opinions, we can go ahead with the earliest slot, which is 2 to 5. Between 2 to 5, I'll definitely let you know the exact timing, which might be 2:30 to 5, or which might be 2 to 4:30, or something like that. But 2 to 5, keep a placeholder that between 2 to 5 on a Saturday, we will have our lectures. Okay. Okay, so half an hour, or it might be 2:30 or it might be 4:30. It can go up and down depending on how big the chapter is or when I want everyone to be there. So yeah, I think that's also finalized. Anything else? So some of you, I think I know Khyati, I know Manya, I know Jia, Jai, I know. So others, if you have a Dhruvi, I know. So if you have not had a word, Nisha, I know. Yes. So if you would have not had a word with me yet, please, by today after 6 o'clock, give me a call. We'll have, let's say, a 5-10 minute conversation because you have not reached out to me. So we'll have a conversation. I'll get to know a little bit more about you, which year of college you are in, how many papers are you done, what will be your plan for the next attempt. We'll discuss all of these things and accordingly proceed ahead. Okay. So a lot of people, Devraj, Sutej, okay, Sai, I know, Grasa or Graka. Okay, again, so that's why I need you to reach out to me. Ayushi, Aryan, please to reach out to me. You have my number on the group, and it's not Virat Shah, it's Sunny Savla. Okay, so do find my number and do reach out. Accordingly, we can proceed ahead. Accordingly, once I get your confirmation, I'll ask for your details, your contact number, your email IDs, and all of these things. And I'll share across the app access with you, right? So app access will only be shared, post we connect and post. There's a official confirmation, the fees payments, and all of those things are arranged, and post the access will be shared. So that's the reason I'm asking you to reach out to me in after 6 o'clock today or tomorrow, whatever time works for you. So do give me a call and we'll have a conversation. Anything else? Yeah, Kraka.
Hi, Viraj. Is your number the number that has sent the invite to the meeting?
Can you repeat?
I don't have your number, so I was
Okay,
asking,
okay.
is your number the
I'll
one that has been sent to the meeting?
no, no,
But
no, 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 no.
okay,
And firstly, it's Sunny. I think the name is showing Virat Shah because it's our group account, but I am Sunny Savla. So I'll just share across my number on the group if you are not there on the group. Okay?
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp or if it's a WhatsApp call also, I think it will be okay. I
Okay,
have
I
just
will.
shared on the group. Yeah. Let me know if you have received the same or if you can view the same. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? So in that case, we can surely end the lecture. And I'll, like I said, the timings for the batch would be Saturday. So I'll be posting, the confirmations by Thursday or Friday. And yeah, Nisha. Yes, Nisha, you can unmute and speak.
Sir, actually, I have not appeared for any of the paper yet. My one friend suggested to combine in the first attempt only, and I'm in 11th standard. I have an issue of attendance also, so I'm very confused.
Okay. So good points. You have my number. Just let's connect and discuss separately. Is that okay?
It's 7:10.
Sorry. I mentioned let's connect after 6 o'clock. Like I mentioned, you can give me a call and today or tomorrow, and we can definitely discuss this of how to progress ahead, which papers to there. I'll let you know. Works.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, if no more questions, we can end this session. And thanks a lot for joining. Uh, if you still have questions, please be open to me, and I'll be always available to answer your calls or chats within 24 hours. I will not say on the spot, but yeah, within that 1 day period. So thanks a lot, and hoping that everyone gets a very great learning experience with the actual academy for the next April 2026 time. And yeah, what would want this time the pass rate to be about 90, closer to 95 or 98%, which means as good as no failures. Okay, so let's target that. And yes, let's have a great next 6 months. Thanks, everyone. And I'll just end this meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.